Still with me in studio, Mohammedshai bin Ari. I want your take on this surge of violence. Is this because of what Mickey Rosenfeld was saying, the Chagim, the holidays, or is there something else behind this?
I think it's something else behind it. We are at the one-year anniversary almost of when this wave of violence started, Michal, last year, and nothing has changed. The environment that existed last year still exists this year. Last year it was Jerusalem. There was talks that Israel is trying to change the status quo in Jerusalem, in the old city, in the Al-Aqsa Mosque and so forth, but it came during the Jewish holidays, but also, if you remember, during the time when Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was also in New York City about to give his speech. For the Palestinians, nothing has changed. The peace process is still pretty much dead for them. So there is no hope for the future for them. But at the same time, the economy, their economic situation is just as bad as it was last year, if not even worse. We are talking about some 50% of the Palestinians between Gaza Strip and the West Bank that are unemployed. We're talking about close to 300,000 educated young Palestinians who just graduated from college, who are without jobs. We're talking about engineers. We're talking about those who have degrees that work either as sellers in the market. They're not even fulfilling their dreams or able to even start their own families. But the third item, which still existed last year, but there's more emphasis and focus on it this year, the Palestinian divide. The Palestinian Authority and Fatah is more divided now on the Palestinian house between Fatah and Hamas, between Fatah and the Palestinian Authority, and the security crackdown on the Palestinians by the Palestinians. We're not saying that this is the sole reason, by the way. We know that if you talk to the Palestinians, they would tell you it's the occupation, and we understand that. But what we're saying is that there are so many elements that are available right now. The environment is so fertile for such attacks to take place, and unless
for people to take things into their
exactly,
own
and unless
hands.
something happens and someone takes care of it, mainly the peace process and giving hope to the people, I think more and more of these attacks will just continue to happen.
Indeed. Now, Shai, we were seeing visuals from yesterday's attack in Hebron that was caught on camera. You made a report using these visuals. You're seeing someone, a man, with 5 soldiers surrounding him with a knife, them with guns. It really seems like a suicide attempt in many ways.
I think many of these assailants realize that they're very likely not to emerge alive from these attacks. This person indeed was killed with the responding gunfire that you see in this incident. I think that many of them are certainly aware, certainly after a year of this wave of violence, it's no longer a secret that the chances of survival are often not high. I would say that with the surge that we've seen since Friday, with at least 5 incidents, there was also an additional rock throwing incident which injured a bus driver. We have seen over the course of the wave of violence a certain copycat element sometimes. So often you see a period of sustained quiet, and this was perhaps the most quiet period that I remember in the current wave of violence. We've been talking about an overall reduction in violence since around March, April, but the past few weeks have been particularly quiet. It's not that there's been any lack of attempts. That we still see on a semi-daily basis people being arrested with knives before they're actually able to carry out the attacks. But suddenly, since Friday, we saw 5 or 6 successful attacks. There seems to be a certain copycat element there where one incident can trigger the next, whether it be through inspiration, whether it be with the help of social media. That's something we've seen all along. There is that sort of viral element to it, which has been central today to what we're seeing with the violence.
Began over the weekend
Two points I must quickly say that there is no incitement. We have not seen any incitement from the Palestinian Authority. Even Israel admits to that. But also, I think even the Palestinians in general, they are speaking out against these attacks because they know the end result is death.
The end result is dead, and probably these individuals take this into account as they've seen the same ending with other people who have made these similar attacks. Shai bin, I want to thank you very much at this point. Mohammed, you're staying with us, and we're going to stay in Israel. The condition